I was asked the other day about the subconscious choice to improve versus when you say you want to improve. It's a problem that people say they want to improve and do this, they want to do this specific task, but in reality, deep down, they don't really want to enough. And well, it becomes something that they fantasize about instead of actually taking the action. You say you want to change. You say you want to grow, right? You say you want to become the better version of yourself, disciplined and sharp and untouchable. But there is a difference between saying it and wanting it. And that difference lives somewhere else, somewhere deeper inside the subconscious. The mind is strange, right? It doesn't move just because you speak the right words, right? You can look in the mirror every morning and say, I'm going to improve. But if the version of you beneath that sentence doesn't believe it, doesn't feel like they will, then your brain won't follow through. You'll stall, right? You'll procrastinate and you'll scroll. You'll call it burnout or bad luck or maybe just a bad day. I'm not feeling it today. But the truth is much simpler. You never chose it for you. You only said you did. And that's the trap that most people live in, the fantasy of improvement. They talk about the grind. They imagine the comeback story. They romanticize the pain, but they don't want to actually live it, right? They want the idea of being great, not the cost that comes with it. And the brain loves doing this, right? The subconscious, it doesn't care about what you say though. It listens to what you reward. All right, let me explain. If every time you feel stressed, you open your phone and you get a tiny burst of dopamine, you've trained your subconscious to choose comfort over change. This is an obvious, very simple principle that you have to understand. If every time you fail, you rationalize instead of learning, you've taught your mind that excuses are safer than growth, right? So the real work begins not with setting goals, but with retraining your subconscious. And that starts small. Right? Start noticing what you do on autopilot. When you say you'll wake up early, but you don't. When you say you'll meditate, but you skip it. When you promise yourself a clean slate, right? But you let one bad spiral cost your whole week. Those moments are the dialogue between your subconscious and your conscious, right? They show you what you truly believe. You can't out-talk a mind that doesn't trust you, right? You have to rebuild that trust through consistency with yourself. Every time you broke a promise to yourself, your mind learned that your words meant nothing, all right? So now when you say, I'll change, your brain just kind of shrugs at it, doesn't believe you, boy who cried wolf type of deal. So, but you can't change that though. You can change that. Just do one small thing. Make one promise today that you can actually keep. No matter how small it is, do that enough times and you will feel the shift. It's not motivation or anything. It's just realigning yourself. It's alignment, right? Your conscious and your subconscious will start to agree. That's when improvement stops feeling forced. It just becomes what it is, right? See, most people live in a sort of state of a tug of war type of deal. Their conscious mind says, I want to succeed. Their subconscious mind says, well, I'm comfortable and safe right here. And safety and comfort always win, right? Until you make growth that new safe zone. So maybe the question isn't how do I improve? It's what does my mind believe is safe right now, is comfortable, it's too hard to leave. Because if your comfort zone is self-sabotage, then you'll keep running back to it no matter how many affirmations you give yourself, right? It's not your fault. You built that comfort zone for a reason, okay? Maybe life kind of came all at you at once and you needed to just take a breather and survive, right? Maybe comfort kept you from breaking apart and just hurting, right? But you don't live there anymore, right? You can't keep worshiping your old coping mechanisms like they're sacred. You can thank them for what they did, but then outgrow them, right? That's where the real change starts, not from hating the old you, but from understanding them. You don't need to improve by force. You need to improve by integration, by integrating what you've learned, by bringing all versions of yourself to the same place, the same table, and just saying, we move forward together now, right? So stop saying, I want to change, and start proving it, okay? One small action at a time. Make your subconscious see that new pattern. It's all about patterns and consistency. It'll resist at first, right? It'll whisper to yourself, like, we don't need to do this. This is too much. But that's the test. That's the moment where fantasy and rumination meets decision, okay? Improvement doesn't begin when you start working, okay? It begins the second you refuse to betray yourself again. And that's where most people never get to, right? That promise that's kept in solitude. No one's looking, no cameras, no validation, no audience, right? Just you doing what you said you would do. That's the foundation of self-respect. And from there, discipline and confidence and clarity, it all builds naturally from there, right? It's not easy. It's not supposed to be, but the peace that comes with it, that self-trust, it's worth everything.